Hello dear students, our first chapter in class 10 physics is reflection and refraction of light. So we are starting this chapter with a definition of light. So what is a light? Light is a form of electromagnetic energy that causes the sensation of vision. It means if you want to see any object, then there must be a light on that object. Now the light is always travels in a straight line. The path of a light is always a straight line. There are certain phenomena of light. The important phenomena are reflection of light, refraction of light, interference of light, diffraction of light, polarization of a light, and photoelectric effect of light. When we study all these phenomena, then that branch of physics is called optics. As it mentioned in this slide, the optics is a branch of physics deals in study of light. Now the optics is divided into three parts. One is called geometrical optics or ray optics. So in this we consider that a light is having a particle form. Light is having a particle form. So by considering that light is in a particle form, it requires a medium to travel. We can explain the phenomena of reflection and refraction by considering this theory. Now second one is called wave optics or the physical optics. Now by the help of a wave optics we can explain the phenomena of interference and diffraction of a light. So in wave optics we consider that the light is having a wave nature, and because of that wave nature it does not require any medium to travel, because we consider a light as a electromagnetic waves and it can travel in vacuum also, and the speed of these waves in air or vacuum is maximum, and that speed is 3 × 10⁸ meter per second. Now all these two theories, like particle nature of light explains the reflection and refraction of light, the wave nature of light explains the interference, diffraction and polarization of light. Now the next theory is called quantum theory of light. So in quantum theory of light it is considered that a light travels in energy packets, and that packets are called quanta. So what happens in a photoelectric effect when a light falls on the surface of metals like cesium, potassium, etc., electrons are given out by these metals, and these electrons are called photoelectrons, and phenomena is called the photoelectric effect. So these are the theories which are considered with the light. Now move to the next slide. So in this slide first we define the source of light. So what is the source of light? A body which emits lights in all directions. So that source is called source of light. The source of light we can further divide it into two parts. One is called luminous source of light and second one is the non-luminous source of light. So what happens in a luminous source of light? They itself emits the light. The examples of luminous source of light is sun and stars, electric lamps, candles, lanterns, etc. Now in case of a non-luminous source of light, what happens? The objects which do not emit light but becomes visible only when light from the luminous objects fall on them. So these source of light are called non-luminous source of light. Examples of non-luminous source of light are moon, planets, wood, table, etc. Now next is the medium of light. So substance through which light propagates or tends to propagate is called medium of light. Any substance through which a light can travel or it tends to travel is, we define it as a medium of light. Now the medium of light can be divided into a further three parts. One is called transparent object, second one is called translucent object, and last one is called opaque object. So one by one we can see what happened in these objects. Like what happened in a transparent object, as the name shows that in these kind of objects the light pass through them. light will pass through. Like if we consider a glass or a water or a air, so light will pass through the glass, water or a air. So glass, water and air are the transparent object. Now what are the translucent objects? So the translucent objects are those through which the part of a light will pass. Not all the light will pass through, only the part of a light will pass. So these objects are called translucent object. Examples of translucent objects are frosted or ground glass, greased paper, paraffin wax, etc. Now move to the last one. Last one is the opaque object. Now what happen in an opaque object? These are the objects or bodies which do not allow the light to pass through. It means the light will not pass through the opaque objects. The examples of opaque objects are chair, desk, etc. Now we will move to the next slide. So in this slide, as I told you earlier, that a light travels in a स्ट्रेट लाइन. या आप ऐसे भी करके देख सकते हो, अगर कहीं से लाइट आ रही है, किसी रोशनदान से लाइट आ रही है, आप अपना हाथ रख दो, उसके बीच में जैसे आप हाथ रखोगे तो दीवार की तरफ क्या होगा, आपके हाथ का शेडो बन जाएगा. तो शेडो इसलिए बन जाता है क्योंकि आपके हाथ रखने से उसका लाइट जो आ रही है उसका रास्ता क्या होता है, पाथ जो है वो ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट हो जाता है, रुक जाता है. तो ये चीज़ हमें ये बताती है कि लाइट जो होती है वो हमेशा क्या होती है, स्ट्रेट लाइन में ट्रेवल करती है. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका हाथ रखने से लाइट आपके बैंड हो गई और आपके हाथ के ऊपर से निकल गई. ठीक है. सो इट प्रूव्स दैट द लाइट ऑलवेज ट्रेवल्स इन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन and the maximum velocity of light is 3 × 10⁸ meter per second, which is in a air or in a vacuum. Now next is very important. It is a behavior of light at the interface of two media. Two media means there are two medium. Let's consider that in this figure we consider two medium. One is medium 1 and second one is medium 2. And that line represents its interface. Interface का मतलब होता है जहाँ पर कि दोनों मीडियम जो है वो मिल रहे हैं. That is called interface. Let a light is coming. So a light which comes and incident on that interface is called incident light. It is mentioned in a figure. A light which is coming and incidenting on an interface is called incident light. Now what happened with this light? Some part of light will bounce back into a same medium. As you are seeing in this figure, a part of light is bounced back into a same medium, in a medium 1, and a part of light is goes into the medium 2. Okay, so here we can define the two phenomena of light. So a part of light which is reflected back is called reflection of light, and this ray is called reflected ray of light. This ray is called reflected ray of light. And a part of light which is goes into a medium 2, that part of light is called refracted light or refracted ray of light, and this phenomena is called refraction. Now the some part of light or the some energy of the light is absorbed. Okay, so here we can define the two phenomena. One is called reflection of light and second one is called the reflected of light. What is a reflection of light? When a incident light is bounced back into a same medium, then it is called reflection of light. And second phenomena is when a light moves from one medium to another medium and it bends, then that phenomena is called refraction of light. Hello dear student, in this slide we will study the reflection of light and the terms related to the reflection of light. So first we define the reflection of light. What is a reflection of light? When a light ray incident on a reflecting surface, then it will bounce back into the same medium. That phenomena is called reflection of light. Okay, so when a light ray incident on a reflecting surface, then it bounces back into a same medium. That phenomena is called reflection of light. Now to study the reflection of light, we need to define some terms. In these terms, first is the reflecting surface. So as you see in a first diagram, the horizontal surface from which a light reflect back or a light bounce back into a same medium, that surface is called the reflecting surface. Now we define a normal on that surface. That normal we draw perpendicular to the reflecting surface, and that normal we draw on a point where the light ray incident, and the point where the light ray incident is called the point of incidence. So now you know a normal we draw 90 degree from the reflecting surface and at the point of incidence. Now this there is a ray which is called incident ray. So this is an incident light ray. This incident light ray coming and incident at the point of incidence. It is coming and incident at the point of incidence. So there is an angle between the normal and the incident ray. That angle is called angle of incidence, and this angle we afterwards we will denote this angle of incidence by a small letter I. Now the light ray will reflect back, and the light ray which is reflect back is called reflected ray. As you see in a diagram, a light ray which is reflect back is called reflected ray. Now the angle the reflected ray is making with the normal at the point of incident is called angle of reflection. That angle of reflection we denoted by the R, small letter R. So this is a definition of reflection of light, and these are the terms which we need to know when we define a reflection of light. Now further we can divided the reflection of light into a two part. One is called regular reflection and second one is called the diffuse reflection. So what happen in a regular reflection, you can see in a second diagram. The regular reflection is also called specular reflection. So what is happening in a diagram, the incident ray, there are 1 2 3 4 4 incident rays. So we combinedly these 4 rays we call beam. So there is a beam of light is coming in which rays are parallel to each other, and after reflection the reflected rays are also parallel to each other. So this type of reflection is called specular reflection or the regular reflection. Now what happened into a next diagram, the surface is also in last diagram, third diagram, the surface is also irregular. So what happened when the light rays are coming, when a beam of light is coming, each ray is parallel to each other, but because the surface is irregular, so after reflection each ray reflected back into a same medium, but after reflection they are not parallel to each other. So this type of reflection is called irregular reflection or the diffuse reflection. Okay, so now you understand what is the reflection of light, what is the phenomena of reflection light. The types of reflection of light is specular reflection and diffuse reflection, which is also called regular reflection and irregular reflection. Now there is a laws of reflection. So what is a laws of reflection? There are two laws, very simple laws, and which we have to remember further when we study the reflection from the mirrors. These laws will be applicable. So the laws, the first law is incident ray, normal ray and the reflected ray all lies on the same plane. All these three, incident ray, normal ray and reflected ray. Normal is not actually a ray. Normal is a we draw at the reflecting surface, so it is not a ray. There is an incident ray, reflected ray and a normal which is perpendicular to the reflecting surface, and we draw normal at the point of incidence. So it is clear that there is an incident ray, reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence. All these three are lies in a same plane. So this is a first law. Now second law is the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. So we need to remember this thing, very important law, that the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. Now we move forward to the next slide.